Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. 7:07, February 2nd. Happy Groundhog Day. It is 34 degrees, heading up to 49 today at WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio, streaming live at WOBMAM.com and on your Radio Pup app. You can feel free to join the conversation at 732-505-1160. You just missed Superintendent of Schools David Healy, but that's okay because we have another great guest in the studio now. It's Mark Wilson. He is the don't tell me. He is the artistic director at the J. and Linda Grunin Center for the Arts. I should know that. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, listen, thank you for coming. It's the check is in the mail, as I said. First of all, I want to apologize to everybody listening. As you all know, I am not a professional radio guy. This is not what I've ever done. This is month 2 of my odyssey into being a paid radio performer. And so when somebody spills water in front of me, like our last guest may have done at the end of our interview, I start laughing because I'm a child, right? I'm immature, and I can't control myself. So I apologize that you all were subjected to that. Please don't hold it against, certainly don't hold it against Superintendent Healy. Please don't hold it against me. I'm just a man. I'm just trying to make your morning a little bit better. Okay, so welcome, Mark. Mark, you are in charge of kind of everything at the Arts Center at OCC. I would like to ask you first, what brought you? What was the path that brought you to Ocean County College? Because you're not really an Ocean County guy, quote unquote. But what was the path that brought you here? How'd you end up doing what you're doing?
I drive a Prius, and so that gives me good gas mileage.
Very nice. Well done.
No, I'm actually from Iowa, so actually you guys have been hearing a lot about my state lately, right?
Yes.
No, but I've been someone who's been had a passion for arts for a long time. I went to school out in Iowa and got my grad degree out in the University of Houston in opera. And so I've been out in New Jersey now for over 10 years. And prior to going down to Ocean County, I was at Monmouth University working there in the music department and working with the opera program there, teaching music theory. And then when I saw there was an opening here down in Ocean, I applied, and I started working as the person in charge of helping create the new performing arts degree program. And then when we had this wonderful gift to help bring art and culture down in Ocean County for the college, that's when Dr. Wong actually approached me about being an advisor for the center. And so I have a passion for arts, and so that I thought was a great way for me to help bring it down here too.
So you didn't listen. Listen, and I don't hold this against you at all. You weren't listening to the first half hour of the show today, right?
No.
Oh, that's good news. Okay, because I may have gone on a short rant about the fact that I probably will never go to Iowa. I don't think there's much to do in Iowa. I'm fairly certain that nobody's saying, let's summer in Des Moines. It doesn't happen, right? Is there anything in Iowa that would actually draw me there other than, crops?
Oh, my goodness. There's so much to do in Iowa.
Really?
Yeah, you can go cow tipping.
Oh, well, that's good. So this should be why you moved to New Jersey, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so the J. and Linda Grunin Center for the Arts. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what, some of the let's say the technical points of the center, size, capacity, what kind of shows do we do, et cetera?
Yeah, the wonderful thing about the center at Ocean County College, the J. and Linda Grunin Center, is that it's 460 seats and it's very intimate. So when people come there to see a show, they feel that they're really up and close with the artists. And we were so excited when we had Art Garfunkel here earlier in the year in October, and the folks who were there loved the fact that when they saw him do this intimate acoustic set, it was great to be there. Instead of being like in a bigger place where it might be kind of hard to actually see him, you can actually see him, see the sweat and everything else is going on there. And it's wonderful that we have that there. Besides having art here earlier in the year, we had some other wonderful artists. We had the Vienna Boys Choir who performed here, and people loved having them. And that art and the Vienna Boys Choir both were sold out shows. We also had the Canadian Brass Also another sold-out show, and it was wonderful having these artists there. And so when folks are looking at coming to our center, that's what they're going to experience is actually this intimate, great customer service because all the folks who are there have a passion for the arts. They all know each other there too.
Cool. So are you saying that because I missed the Art Garfunkel show, are you saying that I could have seen Art Garfunkel sweat up close?
Hey, that's the best thing.
I mean, listen, I'm not going to lie. As I listened to Bridge Over Troubled Water, I remember intimately, being in the back seat of my parents' car as a child, listening to Simon and Garfunkel. And at that moment, I would never have even dreamed of being able to be in the same room as Art Garfunkel, let alone seeing his sweat. So that's exciting. That's very exciting.
That's the great thing, So even people who haven't gotten tickets for Peter Yarrow, for Peter, Paul, and Mary, they can come this Saturday and see him sweat too.
That's great. That's great. I would guess that. Oh my God, we had earlier in the year we had what's his name from Do the Right Thing.
Yes, Danny Aiello.
Yeah, Danny Aiello. I imagine there was a lot of sweating going on Danny Aiello.
There was.
All right, cool.
And it's great having, Danny Aiello, who's a great Italian-American, come down. He goes, hey, just like my people down here.
Right. So any kind of, I know that we are working on partnerships with like kind of a dinner theater thing. So what does that look like? What have you been doing there?
Yeah, one of the things we've been doing is we've been partnering with some wonderful restaurants in Ocean County. And it's a great opportunity for restaurants who are here in Ocean County to get a chance to reach out to some of the patrons who come from other areas outside of our county. So we have a lot of folks who came from like Philadelphia, Monmouth County, up in Middlesex County. They come down to some of these shows because it's affordable, it's intimate. And so one of the things we wanted to do is give them opportunity to eat there and then come down to the show so they won't have to be rushing around. And so we partnered with one of the restaurants was Prime 13, and it was great to actually have them down there. And so we're able to have up to like 56 people there. They eat, they enjoy it. And we get a chance to really talk with the folks, and they say, wow, this is actually wonderful. And so we're going to continue to do this kind of partnerships with a lot of those restaurants throughout.
Great. So who do we have coming up in the not-too-distant future? Like, who's just above the horizon?
Well, one of the shows, like I said before, this upcoming is Peter Yarrow from Peter, Paul, and Mary will be here this Saturday. And then we have Broadway's next hit musical is going to be next Friday. And this is an impromptu improv musical theater. So anyone who wants to basically make up songs, they'll do all that. It's like, whose line is it anyway, but with musical theater. And then we have Home Free. They were the winners of the sing-off. And that's a wonderful a cappella group. They are country singers. And so if you go on YouTube and listen to Home Free, they were just on Fallon singing with Kenny Rogers. So they're going to be here. And we also have Renee Marie, who's going to do a tribute to Eartha Kitt later on in the month of February also.
Cool. All right, great. So when we come back with Mark Wilson from Ocean County College, artistic director at the J. and Linda Grunin Center for the Arts, I want to hear from you. One of the important things that we always ask folks, this is our second person who's been with a house, with a theater. We like to ask for cool stories about talent that has unusual requests, etc. So we want to hear some of those because those are real interesting. If you want to join the conversation, 732-505-1160. Be right back.
Wake up with Jeremy Grunin wherever you go. Download the Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Now, back to Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 and WOBMAM.com.
Welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, 7/21, February 2nd. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 and streaming live on the Radio Pup app and at WOBMAM.com is 34 degrees heading up to 49 today. Balmy. We are here with Mark Wilson, and I apologize. I apologize. Everything you heard in that first 15-minute segment, please strike that from the record because I erroneously referred to Mark's position. He is now the Director of Cultural Affairs at Ocean County College, which, by the way, much easier to say than Artistic and Creative Director of the Center for the Arts. So obviously there was a big pay bump in that, and Mark will be buying breakfast for everyone later on today. So, Mark, when we left, one of the things that people always want to know, especially when you're dealing with, with stars, with talent, with folks that that are in a position to leverage what God gave them, is we're looking for stories of unusual requests, unusual actions, by one of those talented folks. So you got anything?
Well, you know what they all want? They all want beer.
Really?
Yeah, they all want they're like, give us a special microbrew of Ocean County.
Really?
That's like one of the things they want to find, the beer of the area.
So, do you give them Coors Light? I mean, what do you do? What's
Rolling Rock? Is it
Rolling Rock?
Is that what it is?
What's the beer of the area?
I need people to tell me, because that's like a request. People want to know what's the best beer of Ocean County. So I gotta find out. So people gotta actually go to our website and tell me what's the beer of Ocean County, so I can let them know.
All right, but any other funny stuff?
I mean, I don't know about funny stuff, but the folks, they do have the things they want to do. The great thing is a lot of folks are actually very laid back, and I would say one of the things is like Bernie Williams being here last year. He was great. He was backstage showing people actually how to bat. He was there grabbing people and saying, he's like, come over here and get people in their batting stands. And it was wonderful actually seeing him actually work with some of the folks on the staff there, trying to get them to learn how to get their power up. And I find that quite. I wish I could have been like a star like Bernie, like that. But for the most part, I would say that the folks are very mellow. They're not asking for too much. The one request we had was we had an artist who's going to be here in the future. I'll just say that much. And they did make a request. They looked at our county and they said, "Hey, there's this wonderful bed and breakfast, and I want you to tell them that I want to stay there." So that's one of the requests that we actually did get. They found us a place, and they said they had one request that they wanted to be at this one spot in Ocean County.
Okay, well that's great. That's great. It's okay. So and you kind of touched on Bernie Williams for a second. I think getting back in all seriousness, one of the great things about the programs that you put together is oftentimes they're tied to a master class. Or they're tied to another educational component. So talk to us about what you're doing there, what you're kind of looking for in a best case scenario with folks coming to the college.
Well, one of the things we always do is whenever I speak with an artist and their representation, and since we're on a college campus, we ask them to do a workshop, a lecture, a master class, something for our community and for our students. We find it's very important to let our community know they have an opportunity to have an intimate, up-close, personal relationship with some of the artists who are here, and to get a chance for them to reach out and do some things educationally. And when Bernie Williams was here, he was so gracious to do a master class for our students. He worked with our jazz band, and some of the folks in the community went to that private master class, and they enjoyed actually getting like this private concert with Bernie. And Bernie was so great. He walked in, and he's like, let's just jam. So he started jamming with the jazz band, and they were all so excited. And a lot of the kids afterwards came up and said, "Professor Wilson, this is like the greatest day of my life. I'm like jamming with Bernie Williams," and they were enjoying it. And then Bernie's a student right now in Manhattan, and he was able to really be very gracious and work with them on some of the things that he's learning there. And he was able to give them a lot of tips on the way he approaches things also. And we had Tough Zimbabwe, who is the keyboard player for SNL, and he came down to the master class, a piano master class, with our students. And so our students are really good opportunity to really network with these folks. And since Tough is on SNL, the students who were there got a chance to meet with him, and then he got them some tickets to see SNL, the show. And the students were so gracious to be able to speak with him too. And we had Natalie Weiss, who did a master class for our students last year. And then we had Chanticleer, this wonderful men's singing group, and they also did a master class for our students. They also work with Central Regional High School students. And so we actually try to partner with other areas around to really bring in folks who might not have the opportunity.
Cool. So when we get back with Mark Wilson, Director of Cultural Affairs for Ocean County College, we're going to talk about how he comes up with talent, how he identifies it, how he decides who he's going to bring to the good folks of the Jersey Shore. Mark Wilson, Ocean County College, back after this.
The news never stops at WOBMAM.com. Get the latest from WOBM News, the Town Square, New Jersey News Network, and Fox News Radio. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Live from the Jersey Shore to the world. Get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Take the show wherever you go. Download the free Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
7:36, heading down the stretch here on Groundhog Day. Happy Groundhog Day to everyone. 34 degrees, getting up to 49. So feel free to take out that beach blanket and just go find a slice of, sand. Just work on that base tan, right? Because you need it. You need it by March. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio. Streaming live at WOBMAM.com and on the Radio Pup app. We are here with Mark Wilson, Director of Cultural Affairs, and Director of Cultural Affairs for Ocean County College. Let's not forget Ocean County College. That's important. It's Ocean County College. Mark, you totally held out on us. Listen, when I asked you to tell us your path, how you got to do what you're doing, you started in the middle of the story, right? So I'm going to now rewind. I'm going to give you a mulligan. I'm going to give you a do-over. Usually here on the show, it's no backsies, but we are all about getting up, getting out, and doing something, and we're about giving back to the community, and we're about driving healthcare, education, and the arts, right? Some of which you are very involved in. And so I'm going to take you back. We're going to hop aboard the Wayback Machine, and we're going to talk about when you were a loss prevention regional manager for the Container Store. That's right, the Container Store. We don't have one in Ocean County because it's high-end. Mark, take us from that point up until when you switched careers.
So, as we were discussing off the air, I was the director for loss prevention for the Container Store in the New York City market. And in that job, one of my things I had to do was to help reduce safety and retail theft. And so I was doing things where people were saying, thank you for sending them to jail. How's that? So that wasn't a passion of mine. And so I left the comforts of that wonderful job I had in New York City, and I decided to do something. I took a flyer on myself. I bet on myself, and then I decided to go work part-time at a school in Newark. It was as a part-time choir teacher there because I had a passion for the arts, and so that was one of the things I got my degree in. And as I was looking at things I was doing, I was making great money at the Container Store, but it wasn't fulfilling my dream of what I wanted, a passion for giving back. And I got my degree in education at Simpson College in Iowa, and so I wanted to do something with the community. So I went and I found this job in Newark, and I worked at this inner city school in Newark part-time there. From that moment, I started getting more jobs. I ended up working at Westchester Community College and Monmouth University and Bergen Community College. And so all that together started me to put together a lot of things, me working with the folks. And that's actually how I got to Ocean County.
Okay. Now, Mark, doesn't that feel better?
I feel better.
Doesn't that feel come on, work with me here. Let's take a deep breath. Breathe in and out. That was good, right? Now you feel like you're liberated because you actually shared the Mark Wilson story.
Well, I'm from Iowa, so we're kind of kind of corny humor.
Oh, corny! I see what you did there. Yeah, that was solid. That was strong. By the way, I want to correct you. You said that one of your jobs was to reduce safety at the Container Store. I'm fairly certain.
Sorry.
I'm fairly certain that you were working to improve safety at the Container Store.
That's the reason why I'm no longer there.
Yes. Okay. Good. All right. So now we have a better feel. Mark, talk to us about how you decide who is the next big thing that should come to Ocean County College.
All right, well, here's an example. We have a group coming in later on this month, home free. And when I look at folks who are going to come here, I need folks who are cool, and people are going to bring some pizzazz down to Ocean County, and people who are down to earth. because I think of Ocean County similar to Iowa. They're like down-to-earth folks who really enjoy having the real authentic people who are blue-collar. And folks like Home Free was a great example to bring down here. These are folks that probably a year ago when I was looking at bringing them here, people didn't hear about them. And as soon as the word got out, when they were out performing on Fallon, the ticket sales were great, and we sold out back in December on that show. So I'm looking for folks who are going to really help elevate Ocean County, world-class artists coming down here. And it's really to show that Toms River is a hub for arts and culture. And a lot of folks never been to Ocean County before or even in Toms River. And so they come here to go, wow, this is great. And they love the response from the audience and from our staff. And so they always want to come back. I know when Bernie came here, he's like, wow, these people are so great. And they love the response here. We had Ailey, too, here. And they said they were treated so much nicer here than they were at other places. And they love that fact. And they love the audience here. So we try to find folks, like I said, who elevate the arts and culture here for Ocean County.
Awesome. Mark Wilson, Director of Cultural Affairs for Ocean County College. Mark, where can folks go to learn more, to see what's on the to see what is on the schedule? Where can they find out more about what's going on at OCC and from a cultural perspective?
So for tickets, go to 732-255-0500, and you also can go to the gruninCenter.org, and that's where you can actually find out more about what we have online too. So for tickets, once again, it's 732-255-0500, and that's the gruninCenter.org.
Cool. And listen, so thank you so much for joining us, Mark Wilson. Guys, if you want to hear this interview on YouTube, because every one of our interviews we post on the WOBM AM 1160 YouTube channel, what I would recommend you doing is take the last 10 minutes of the interview, kind of listen to that first so you can get the real story of who Mark Wilson is, and then you could launch into what he wants you to believe is the real Mark Wilson, and then you can kind of go from there. It's kind of what I would call a Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin mashup. Mark, thank you so much for your time this morning. We'll talk soon.
Thank you, Jeremy.
All right.
Rush Limbaugh today at noon. More Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin coming up next. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310.